The world is talking about a ceasefire, but in Israel, the people are demanding more war. Think about this for a second. While a US-brokered truce is on the table, the Israeli public is overwhelmingly rejecting it. And this is creating a crisis that could actually topple Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. So let's break down exactly what is happening. This number, well, it pretty much explains everything. 79% of Israelis support continued strikes on Hezbollah in Lebanon, even with a ceasefire supposed to be in place. Now, this isn't some fringe opinion. This is an overwhelming, almost unbelievable national consensus for more conflict. So what you have is this massive disconnect. On one side, you have a population with a growing appetite for war, and on the other, you have a ceasefire that is deeply, deeply unpopular. And that gap between public opinion and political reality is creating a crisis that is tearing the country's leadership apart. Let me break this down for you. These numbers from 3 major Israeli polls, they paint a really clear picture. Across the board, a solid majority of Israelis reject the temporary ceasefire. Only about a quarter to a third of the population actually supports it. Look, this isn't just a simple disagreement. It's a massive public rejection of the current strategy. And here's where we see the real root of that dissatisfaction. When you ask Israelis who actually won the conflict, the most common answer, at a whopping 40%, was neither. There is no sense of a decisive victory here. And that feeling, that lack of resolution, is exactly what's fueling the public's desire to keep fighting. And that brings us right back to that staggering 79% figure. But here's the most crucial part. This sentiment crosses all political lines. We're talking 92% of coalition voters and 83% of opposition voters. In a country as deeply divided as Israel, the demand for more war is the one thing that unites almost everyone. Okay, here's where it gets dangerous. This powerful public mood is translating directly into a political crisis for Prime Minister Netanyahu. His grip on power is slipping, and it's slipping precisely because he's seen as not being aggressive enough. And just look at what this is doing to him politically. These numbers are absolutely devastating for Netanyahu. Recent polls show his coalition plummeting to just 50 seats, while the opposition climbs to 60. Neither side has the 61 seats they need for a majority. His entire political foundation is crumbling beneath his feet. And this quote, wow, it just perfectly illustrates the kind of pressure he's under, because it's coming from inside his own house. Zvika Fogel, a far-right party chair in Netanyahu's coalition, is openly mocking President Trump for the truce. When your own allies are attacking your main international partner that publicly, you know you're in some serious trouble. So why all this internal political pressure? Well, it's because many in Israel's security establishment see this US-brokered ceasefire not as a step toward peace, but as a catastrophic strategic error, a historic miss that actually puts Israel in more danger, not less. Think about what the original war aims were. First up, dismantling Iran's Revolutionary Guard, its elite force that stirs up conflict all over the region. Second, taking out key Iranian military infrastructure. Third, ending the nuclear threat for good. And finally, stopping Iran's proxy warfare through groups like Hezbollah. According to critics, all of these core objectives were basically abandoned for a temporary truce. So the bottom line is this. The ceasefire is seen as a major strategic setback. It's nothing more than a pause that gives Iran time to rearm and rebuild, all while America's attention inevitably shifts somewhere else. For Israel, this isn't peace. It's just kicking a much larger, more dangerous conflict down the road. But this is the part they really don't want you to see. As the official narrative starts to fray, a deeper skepticism is emerging from inside Israel itself, a skepticism that questions the entire justification for the war in the first place. So you have these two competing narratives. On one side, you have Netanyahu's government insisting that there was an imminent nuclear threat from Iran that made war necessary. But on the other, you have prominent Israeli journalists like Raviv Drucker arguing that there is no solid intelligence from the US or Israel to back this up. He actually claims Netanyahu is inventing reality just to stay in power. And the irony here is just brutal. The very war that was supposed to secure Netanyahu's political position is actually making him weaker. The public doesn't feel a sense of victory, so his support drops. And that forces him to escalate his rhetoric, to invent an even bigger threat, which just creates this incredibly dangerous feedback loop. Suddenly, the picture becomes clear. When you put all of these pieces together, the public anger, the political weakness, the strategic risks, and the questionable narrative, a burning truth about this moment really emerges. This is the situation on the ground. A ceasefire that the public hates and the leadership can't even defend. A government power structure so fractured it can barely stand. And a conflict being driven at its very core by one leader's desperate fight for his own political survival. So that leaves us with a critical question, and I want to know what you think. Do you believe the Iran ceasefire was a strategic mistake, or is Netanyahu right to push for more war? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And for daily no-spin analysis of world affairs and these kinds of hidden power plays, make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications.